To have Sandy with us this morning. How are you?
I'm tired. How are you?
Oh, but you have to be thrilled. Congratulations.
Thanks. I am. Do you know that we are having, I don't know what's happening down at that Met Center, but I'm getting so much from it because every night, I'd heard how reserved the Boston audiences were going to be, so I was prepared for that. They're screaming and hooting and yelling and standing up, and I'm having a great time. The whole cast is.
But that's the point, because from the moment you enter the darling window until the curtain comes down, you act like you're having so much fun.
Good. They pay me a lot of money to look that way.
How do you keep that energy, though, Sandy? I mean, here you are harnessed up half the time because you're flying.
Yeah. I don't do anything. I'm just not I'm not one of those people who has a regimen that they follow. You know, I really don't. I eat junk food and just do the worst things and party and carry on.
Yeah, but Ron Field was on the show last Monday.
I am disciplined, though. Is that what he said?
He said that you are. He said you're disciplined.
I am. I'm very disciplined.
But that's essential, isn't it, to be able to do this?
I couldn't do this show without being disciplined.
Since '79, right? On Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you bring something different to every performance?
Yes, because the audience does. It's a curious show in that you don't ever lock into rhythms because the audiences are just like this. Someday on a matinee you'll have mostly children and their laughs and their applauses and response will be different than the adult audience, you know.
They hiss Captain Hook and boo him and...
Sometimes they yell out to me, Peter, watch out, and they get very involved.
Isn't that great?
And yet quiet. I'm amazed at. I thought also this is a 4,000 seat house. It was going to be a little noisy. Just stone quiet in the moments where it should be.
When I left that theater, I was sorry I ever grew up.
Oh, sure. Well, you didn't, did you really?
No, not
I didn't
really.
Either.
A lot of people tell me that.
Just wear grown-up clothes. And,
yeah. But that's a part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That whole fantasy. I mean, I mentioned that kids don't have the chance to use their imaginations as much today.
They don't, and they love doing it, which is a surprise. They really love coming there and having, even when they see The Wire, you know, it doesn't seem to disturb the other elements of the show for them, like helping Tinkerbell live and getting involved. And it's curious, some of the kids that do come, though, they don't get the difference between film. They watch so much television, they'll go, Mother, put it on again.
Oh,
see?
Yeah, they're so little, too,
They
probably.
think it's just a big film.
Has Mary Martin seen this performance?
No.
Never?
No. She and I met this year. We did a television show together. She introduced me and I sang Neverland. She was so lovely and warm, and her whole family had been and loved it and was very supportive. And she said, quite honestly, it's such an emotional show for her because her husband, who produced it, died, I think, during or soon after. And she said, to be honest, I don't know if I could sit there and really put myself through it, which I understand and respect. You know, you took dance training for all of your life, didn't you? All my life, which helps in this a great deal.
Well, that's something Ron and I talked about, too. I asked him if he choreographed you flying, and he said, no, Sandy's up there. She feels it. Did you do all of that with the movement and the flying? And
yeah, it's not been done this way. Usually, you hit a position and fly, and then you hit another position and fly. So when Gary and I, Gary Foy, who does my flying, he's the son of the man who invented this system. We decided to try something new and really move around up there as much as possible and look like I was really in command of the air. The truth is, he puts me where he wants me, when he wants me there, but I have to make it look like I'm doing it.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
What does it feel like? Does it cramp you?
A corset. It feels like you've got on this corset all the time. It's really binding the shoulders and the neck, and it's under the costume. It's more uncomfortable on the floor than in the air because it was designed for flying, so that's where you feel the most comfort is in the air.
Highest flying Peter Pan. Sandy Duncan is with us. When you started in The King and I in Dallas, did you have any idea that you would stay with this business? Did you always know that this would happen to you?
Yeah. Oh, since I was 5 years old. Not that anything would happen to me, but that I wanted to be in show business. It's good it's working out. I can't do much of anything else.
Didn't you do a commercial once that it was an embarrassed kind of a look? Was that a skinny dip, was it?
I did those. It was a Noxzema where I looked and blushed a lot. Yes, why?
Well, because I think that's the first time I really became aware of you. And then obviously all of the musical things, but there have been many people that have said that you continually surprise the world because you are a singer who can act and a dancer who can sing and
a girl who's a boy. She just
full of surprises. Ron Field says he's responsible for your love, your husband Don Correia.
He is. Well, he's responsible. I mean, what is he saying? He introduced us in a funny way. I was doing a television special, and he hired Don. It was Don's first special, Ron's, mine. In California, Don was one of the dancers on the show. And then subsequently, we did a number of television specials together, and we partnered each other in a Richard Rodgers musical number that Ron choreographed. It won an Emmy Award. And so we've done a lot of work as dance partners. And then later, when I was doing my nightclub act about 3 years ago, I hired Don as one of the dancers.
That was really successful too, that nightclub act, wasn't it?
And it was so frightening because I put every cent I had into the act. You know, they cost like $60,000, $70,000 to put together. So I put everything I owned into that, and really, it was like a blow for free.
And set Las Vegas on its ear.
No.
Yeah, that's what I read that you did. How about this? Is Don with you though? I mean, isn't it
No.
difficult to be separated?
We've already spoken this morning. Those are cheerful comments.
That's
How are you?
nice, though.
Fine, good. Yeah.
But doesn't that help?
It absolutely does. And he comes up every weekend. He's working on the Annie film, and then I fly home Sunday night after my 2 shows and stay for a day and a half, and then fly back.
Will he be dancing in the Annie film? Oh, isn't that terrific? What about your family, Sandy? Do you come from a big family?
My mom, no, I have one sister in Texas. They still live there. And you should have a national interview program. You're one of the few people who listens. You know, I mean, I've done it with the biggies, and they don't,
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
interviewed, and they don't listen. Anyway, I still go home, you know, 2 or 3 times a year. My parents, I fly them into New York, and they'll obviously be in New Orleans because that's close to Tyler. And they're very supportive and happy. They have a commercial running now, one of those Southwestern Bell telephone things.
Your whole family?
My mom and dad. My mom's a big celebrity. We go to airports and they ask for
fun.
her autograph. And
I read something very warm, though, about your mom that's, I guess, very motherly, that she wakes up every morning saying something to herself. I read this anyway, that I hope today my daughters can see.
oh, really?
I read that. Is that true?
I don't know. My father says I see more than I can understand.
But is that ever a problem, especially with the flying, the perception?
No, it's a problem initially because I have, first of all, been nearsighted my whole life, and now I have no vision in my left eye, so the peripheral thing is a little, you know. But once I get myself, you know, kind of going in a rehearsal situation, it's almost like radar. You know, I kind of can feel when I'm close to things. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's that sixth sense that a lot of people talk about.
I guess it
There's
is
something
because
that's-
I'm now, you know, unaware of having a problem.